I'm going to make a guitar for my doll. This is 1:6, and I went to Google and found a guitar and printed out in 1:6, and that is like 8 centimeters from here to there. This part is 8 centimeter, and I printed this out in the 8 centimeter size. So first I'm going to make some brownish color for the backside of my guitar. And for that I found some scrap clay I have in different colors of brown. And I'm going to marble these, so I'm going to make them all in the same size here. All the locks. You can actually make it in the colors you like to, but I like to have it in the brownish color. So I'm kind of stacking them here. Something like this, so you have all the colors. And I'm just going to squeeze them together. And now I'm going to marble this. I rolled out my clay, and it has some structure now on each side, and I picked the one I like the best, and I think that's this one. So I'm going to put that downwards like that, and I'm going to put on my guitar here, and I'm going to take a needle tool, and I'm going to scratch around the edge to show where my guitar is, the size and the shape. And I'm starting with the back side of my guitar. Making the back side of it. So I'm just drawing the outlines from my picture. And I'm going to take this part with, because I need that for the front part. Like that. And then you can remove it, and you should be able to see your markings on the clay, and then you just cut it out. And I'm going to take off the wrist clay here, removing that. There we go. Careful with this one, because you need that for the rest of your guitar. But here I got, just a second, here I got the bottom of my guitar, the back side, and the long pin. I'm going to make the edges on the bar a bit nicer, this one. So I'm going to take this one, pull it off. Remember, my good side is that one, so I'm going to keep that down for now. I flipped this piece and put up this good side, and I'm just going to shape it a bit here in the edges. I marked a few cuttings on this part, and I'm going to cut it out. Like that. And I'm going to take a ball tool, dotting tool, whatever, and straighten out these cuts, edges, to make it look right again. So when you like it, you just leave it until it's time to bake it. So I'm going to take my wrist clay here and put it through my pasta machine. And again, I'm choosing my side to use. I'm going to take this part And I'm going to cut a straight edge here, like that, putting the rest aside. And I'm taking 10 millimeters and marking it on my clay. So I have some marks for where to cut, like that. And then I'm just cutting off these pieces. Like that. And I'm going to use those around my guitar, the bottom part. So again, I'm going to choose which side to have up or down. I like this side. I'm sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. And I'm taking this one, putting it together with the other one here. Something like that. And then I take this part carefully and I wrap it around my guitar body, the body of my guitar, starting at the top here, putting it on the clay and let it fit the guitar shape here. I'm going to take my time to do this, so I'm going to take a break here and come back when I'm done. I have been smudging out the outer side edge of my guitar so it looks nice, and I took some scrap clay I had lying around and rolled it out in a thin strip, and I'm going to put that inside of my guitar around the edge to strengthen it up a bit. Like that. And I'm taking a big dotting tool and I'm just squeezing it into the corner. Nothing fancy pantsy or something, just carefully squeezing it into the corners. Okay, so you're done that. Yeah, and I would actually go bake this now, so that it will keep my no wait, I forgot. I want to be able to hang it around an egg in a string, and to do that I'm going to make a hole in the bottom of my guitar, a little over the middle, because you want your top piece on there. So I'm just poking a hole here, making sure it's looking nice and clean, and we will put an eye pin in there later. So I'm going to leave that in while baking. This way I'm sure the hole will stay there. And I'm gonna bake this for what, 15, 20 minutes? 20, I think 25 minutes to make sure it's really hard. And then I will be back and make the rest of the guitar. So hang on. Before you bake it, you bend this piece a bit, and this is a good side, so I bend it backwards, and I bake this. So I'm just going to take it off here. So that's the bad side and this is a good side, and I bake this part as well. So that's a good side on my guitar and the inside, and I'm going to put this a bit to the side right now. For now, I take a piece of this clay, and this is my wrist clay from the guitar, and I put a piece of it to the side because I'm going to use that later, and then I'm going to use this piece, and I'm going to take quite a lot of white and put in there in this piece I have here, and I'm going to roll it into a log. And I'm going to mix it with the brown I have here, so that this is going to be lighter than the other brown, because this is going to be the front of my guitar. So I'm going to marble this piece. And I'm going to find the side I like the best. I think this is the one. So I'm going to start with putting that down, taking my baked piece of my clay, putting it on top here and cutting out the front of my guitar carefully, like that. So this is my bad side, I think. So I'm starting with taking this part and my tracer, and I'm going to put this one on top of my guitar, if I can do that. It's almost right. And I'm going to trace this part, the hole in the middle, because I'm going to cut that out. So I'm going to cut out the hole here for the guitar. And I just work a bit on the edge around the hole to make it look. I rolled out some black clay on my smallest setting, and I take my guitar piece here and I'm going to trace the black end piece here on my clay, and I'm going to cut it out and use this as the bottom side of my guitar, because I like this one better. So I'm going to put this where it needs to go, like there. And I'm going to cut out a piece, an extra piece. To put on here. Where the strings are supposed to go. And I wanted to make 6 holes for the strings that I'm going to put in later. So I'm just trying 1, 2, 3 to make a hole. So I have 6 small holes here. I'm not sure I can show you that. Just a second here. Let's see if I can show it to you. Can you see the small holes here? I made those. I'm going to save my black clay for later, because I'm gonna need that. Now I'm going to take some of my wrist dark clay, just a tiny bit of the rest. I'm going to take a tiny bit of red, putting it in, and a tiny bit of black, putting it also in there, and I'm going to marble this. I marbled this and I got this cool reddish clay out of it. And again, I'm going to find the side I like the best. Oh, I'm going to put it through here in the smallest setting. So I put it through the smallest setting, and I take the part I like the best. I think that's pretty, but I like this too. So I'm taking that one, and I'm taking my guitar here and putting it on, and I'm tracing this part down on my clay. Like that, and I'm going to cut it out. And I'm gonna take this part and I'm going to put it here on my guitar. And I'm going to flatten it out a bit, squeezing it into my guitar. So that's my result of the front of my guitar for now. And I'm going to bake this for 20-25 minutes before I am continuing to put my guitar together. So I will be back when it's baking. I baked my guitar plate and it came out really good, and it does fit the rest of my guitar, so I'm happy with this. And now for the rest of it, I'm going to take I rolled out this piece of black clay, and I'm going to put that over this one, and I'm going to put a needle eye pin inside my guitar head here. So I'm just cutting a pin fitting this piece here, right here, and I'm going to take some Bing Bond and I'm putting it here on my handlebar, whatever you call that piece of your guitar. I know what it's called in Danish, but I don't know the American word for it, so sorry about that. Making sure I have Bacon Bond all over the clay. Like that. And I'm going to place it on my black clay. And this black clay I rolled out on my thinnest setting on the pasta machine, so it's not that thick. So I'm going to put my eye pin, and I'm going to stick the clay to this one. And I'm going to cut it out so it fits. Because this needs to go there, and I need to cut out these holes here also. And I'm going to carefully remove it from here, like this. Oh no, it went out. My pin went out. And I'm going to cut off down through this part of the handlebar, what you call it, and on the other side. And I'm leaving the excess down there because we need that on the front of our guitar. So again, I'm going to take it off of here, making sure it sits where I want it, all the way down. Then I take this glass plate and I put it over my metal piece, my normal baking plate, and I'm taking my front of my guitar and I am using some of my Bing Bond where I want the black thing to go. And on the handle here, I am going to put some Bing Bond on here, right there. I hope you can see that. And I'm going to squeeze this to the edge so that I can hang this top part of my guitar over the edge. So you see it fits the guitar, making sure that the guitar match up with the brown part, making this black one overlap and lay where I want it, making sure it's right where I want, and then cutting off by the hole in the guitar carefully. Getting the rest clay out there like that, and then I'm just going to mold it so it's lying just the way I want it to, this black piece. Like that. And when I like the result of this, here we go. When I like the result of it, I am going to bake it again for 25 minutes, I think. Good. I baked this part, so now the handlebar here is stuck to the guitar, and as you can see I lined them up here and all the way through. And now I'm going to make some details on this part, and for that I took some of the darker clay I had, the wrist clay, this part here, and I rolled it out in one of my thinnest settings, and now I'm using my Kimber cutter, this one, and I'm cutting out 6 small teardrops, and I'm going to use these for the top part, and I'm going to squish the end here a bit on each of these. Like that. This one I'm going to roll into a thin sausage. Snake, whatever you like it to be called. And I put it on my plate so I know where I have it. This is going to be hard to show you without throwing everything on the ground. So I'm going to cut out 3 tiny pieces of this sausage, and then I take my handle here, I will make sure I have it in so you can see, and I'm going to take a bit of my Big Bond and put it on each side of this tiny thing, and I'm going to put it in the gap. So I hope you can see, just a second. So I put them up 3 pins, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I got those on, so as you see there is 6, 3 in each row. Now I take these small things I've made here, one by one, dip the end in Big Bond and put it on the side, and I put them on a bit crooked or in an angle, whatever you like to say. So you have them sitting like that. Do the same on the other side here, and then bake it again for around 20 minutes. Okay, it's time for me to assemble the guitar, and here we have the result of the last baking, and this fits nicely together. I like that. But first I'm going to take the end part here and an eye pin, and I'm going to put that through my hole in the bottom like that, and I'm going to cut it off. No, I'm going to take it out and cut it off. So I'm going to put it through the bottom here like that, and I'm going to bend it so that it will stay in my guitar. Like this. Just a second and I will show you. So you see it's sitting here and it's stuck in there. So that was that part. Now I'm going to take my Big Bond and I'm going to put a small tiny layer all the way around the edge. And I'm going to stick this one on top of it, making sure it fits nicely all the way around. And I'm going to turn it around. And I rolled out this excess clay of the darker, and I'm going to stick that to my guitar. As you see, I rolled it out in a cone-like, so it's thin in this end and wide in the other one. And I'm going again to put on some Big and Bond on the back side here. I'm going to get it out. Like this. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to squeeze it on here. And I take the light brown clay I have and roll a tiny sausage, really tiny one. So I'm starting here at the top, going all the way around my guitar. First of all, putting the lid again back on the place. And then I'm squeezing in this little sausage I made. But when you like the result of your collected guitar, you will go bake it again for like 20-25 minutes. Okay, I have baked my guitar and I have been sanding it, so it's having nice edges. And I put a jump ring in this one, and I put a jump ring up here for a strap when I get that far. But now I'm going to put in a few details, and for that I took this part and I actually made a few holes where there's supposed to go a little spot, and I'm going to put them on here, and I hope I can see them through. I can. That's good. Then I have some Warhammer paint. I like that in silver color, and my really thin pencil, and I'm going to put the dots on here with my silver paint. There we go. It's a little crooked, but I like it. And I'm going to paint a tiny circle around the center here. Like that. So here is my details on the guitar. I think it's looking quite nice. I think it's looking quite nice. And now I'm going to glaze it, and I'm going to hang it to dry. And I glazed my guitar, as you can see, and now it's time for the strings. For that I use some nylon thread, this one. I cut out 6 pieces, there is long enough, and I put in 2 of the strings by now. I made some pre-made holes for the strings, so I'm just pushing my needle tool through the holes all the way through. I didn't do that before all the way through, I just do that now to make sure I can get the string all the way through. And this way the hole will be really tiny later, so it's like pulling together when you pull the needle out. So I'm going to pull the needle out, and I'm going to push the thread through the hole, and I'm going to make a tiny knot in the end. Like that. I'm cutting off the excess string and pulling it up. So now I have 3 strings on here. I know it could be hard to see, but they're there. And I'm going to do that with the last 3 of them, and then I will be right back. I put all 6 strings in here. You should be able to see them. Now I'm going to take 1 string at a time and bring it up front. The first one is going to go on the top, and then the next on the middle, and the third on the first one. So I'm actually going to take the third string, start with that, go down in the first hole, and it's teasing me, go down the first hole and up again, here, and going to tie a knot. Making it sit right. Doing 1 more knot just to make sure it's right, and then put my string down the hole again and leave it there for now. So it looks like this. Up here I have the 3 strings sitting all the way down to the bottom. So now my guitar has 3 strings, and I'm gonna do the same on the other side. The middle string is going on the lower piece, the second last string on the middle piece, and the last string on the top piece. And when I've done that, I will be back. I put the strings on, all 6 of them, you can see that now. And I have my thread going out on the back side here. And I'm going to take a tiny bit of glue and glue each string on the back side. Something like that. And I'm going to let this dry before I cut off the wrist ends. And then I cut out a piece of leather long enough to go around the doll neck, and I pointed out the ends of this piece. And I put a jump ring in each of my eye pins, in each end of my guitar. I'm going to take this leather piece and I'm going to put it in the jump ring, and then I'm going to glue it so that it sits in the jump ring like this, and in the other end as well. And you could decorate this with a marker or something, so you could go ahead and do that. Happy crafting!